Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of Eclipse Tips. This is a video tutorial. If you're looking for written tutorials with links, we have Eclipse Tips, cs.knox.edu/jspacko/eclipse-tips.html. This may look like a Google Doc that's been published with a durable URL. That's exactly what it is. It's basically a Google Doc. I edit it from time to time, adding new bits of advice and processes and things like that, and some new links as I find them. What I want to do is demo how to import a project. So we have two projects available that are Java projects that you can import into Eclipse. There's the searchable catalog Eclipse project. There's also the Ninja Database ORM Java code project. I'm going to go with this one. You would click on this and you would save it. I already happen to have a copy saved, so I'll go ahead and use my saved copy. Pretend I just saved that into my CS320 folder. The proper way to import something over here in Eclipse, and yes, I have crazy, fancy, different color schemes set, but this is just Eclipse. I want to import this project. So I do File, Import, and I say Existing Projects into Workspace. If you say Archive File, it won't work. If you say File System, it won't work. You want to say Existing Projects into Workspace. Now, the default will be Select Root Directory. That is wrong. You want to say Select Archive File because you're importing from a zip file, which is another way of saying Archive File. We click Browse. We go into 320. We find this Ninja ORM.zip. We click Open. Now, it should find the project and drop it in down here. If you already have a project in your workspace with the exact same name, this will show up but will be grayed out. It won't work. You have to change the name of the project already in your workspace or delete it. You'll notice I already had this project in my workspace. I renamed it with a 2 at the end so that this import would work. I'm going to go ahead and say Finish, and voila, it has been imported. Now, you know an Eclipse project is imported correctly if it's got a source folder with some Java code in it. There's reference library, system library, things like that. If you have a folder here and then like an entire project imported inside it, in other words, if the source folder is not at this top level, then you did it wrong. You imported a project into another project. This is almost never correct, and it will almost never work, so don't do it. Do things File, Import from Archive File, and import the zip files as they're distributed. Now, one other important note, if you don't have Java 1.8, if you notice here, my JRE, Java Runtime Environment, is Java 1.8. If you don't have 1.8 on your machine, this link will not be there. And so when you go in and look at your code, nothing will work. Let me show you what that would look like. Nope, that's not what it would look like. Here we go. So if I go in here to my build path, this is the most important menu for getting things to compile correctly. We bring up properties for the project. You go to Java build path. Tells you what the source folder is. This tells you if there's other projects in this particular workspace that are required. The most common thing you'll be clicking on is libraries. So you'll notice here I've got this MySQL connector and this tika-app.jar. How did I get those? Well, what would happen, for example, if I removed this? Now all of the MySQL code doesn't work. If I hit OK, look at this. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Up here I've got these import statements. For MySQL stuff, I don't have it. So if I want to bring it back, I bring up properties. I go to my Java build path. I go to libraries. I'm going to say add jar. I'm going to add a jar file that's right inside here. I'll go into lib. There it is. I tend to put all of the jar files in a folder called lib. That's not actually required. You can put it in any folder in here, but most Eclipse projects you see, they'll go in a folder called lib for library. I'm going to say OK, and now, bam, these import problems go away. Now, one other important thing about that project, it is possible to not have a valid Java runtime system library. All of this stuff in here, the main thing in here is rt.jar. This RT stands for runtime.jar. This actually has everything. Java util linked list, Java auth color. I mean, everything is basically in there. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that come with the Java runtime environment. If you don't have that, here's what will happen. So we go in here, nothing works. It's saying it can't even import java.io.file input stream. I can understand not being able to find like Apache Tico, which is a highly specialized library, or some MySQL library, that's a highly specialized library as well. But if java.io can't be imported or java.util can't be imported, that almost certainly means you don't have a JVM. So the way to fix that, look over here. If you don't see something like you see for all your other projects, JRE system library, that means you're missing a system library. The way to get that, we go here to properties. We're going to say under libraries, add library. Now we want it to be a JRE system library, and I'll go ahead with the workspace default. I can also, pick other libraries potentially. I don't know what execution environment does. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna touch that, and I'll just stick with this. So we'll say finish and OK. Now that shows up again. These compiler errors go away right away. So that is how to import something, how to import libraries if you are missing a particular jar file on what amounts to your class path. Eclipse manages your class path for you, and that's how to make sure you have a JRE system library installed. Eclipse won't launch if it doesn't have access to a JRE system library somewhere. Okay, that's what we've got. Thank you very much.